Anyway, that's kind of a crazy statement. Trump said, as he was told, that Charlie Kirk didn't believe in hate speech. Trump is saying he probably wouldn't be saying that now. Right now, there's a move across this country in order to condition the people to accept hate speech. And no, this isn't the Democrats talking. We have the Department of Justice head, Pam Bondi, telling us, the American people, that hate speech is not protected under common law or under our Constitution, which is false, so badly false that she was corrected by Community Notes, which is a bunch of Indians on X that don't know jack shit about Western culture. Now, Trump is saying about hate speech, but why are they talking about this? What kind of hate speech are they discussing? Is it perhaps the hate speech that they were trying to squash on college campuses, like people who criticize Netanyahu, people who criticize the Israeli war? And we saw them revoke visas. We saw them cut funding. Well, there's been decades of anti-white agenda going on college campuses. They've been scrutinizing white men. Yeah, some Asians too, but statistically, they've been pulling white people from college ranks using, this sort of DEI standard to take away our positions and our growth potential in corporate places. And the government's done nothing. In fact, they actually follow the same laws. Trump loves his diversity hires. All of the communities inside of our industry, they love having their black, their token black, and their Jews. But what is the world for white men? Well, I guess the world's going to be harder and harder as we saw hate speech laws rise up in the United Kingdom. They rose up in Australia, and now it looks like our government is gearing up to raise them here. And if you object, well, you might just be like Jimmy Kimmel, and they'll shut you down. My name is Elijah Schaefer. It is approximately 7:07 p.m. Eastern Time in the United States. This is The Rift live Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, only here on Rumble, YouTube, X, and at rifttv.com. Let's start the show. You heard of Judeo-Christianity. Now I want to introduce you to Judeo-freedom. It's neither free, but very much Judeo, where your freedom only exists to ensure that you support the regime, not your regime, not the American regime, but to the occupiers of our regime. And I know it's tough for people to have these conversations because there's always those people who are ignorant that say, oh, you're going to talk about the Jews. No, we're not talking about the Jews. We're talking about the Netanyahu regime. We're talking about actual government infiltration and the fact that our government is starting to use language that is awfully eerily similar to exactly the things we've been condemning from the Democrats that we've all been talking about for very, very many years, how there is no such thing as hate speech, how we can't be censoring people. And obviously, I know things have changed. We're going to talk about whether it's a good thing or a bad thing that we're starting to use the tactics of the people that we condemn. Joining me today in the studio is contributor here at rifttv.com, Michael Hennessy of Snowflake News. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, excited to be here. Not too excited about what's coming out on the news, but happy to be here.
And of course, back there in the bunker, we have a resident DJ and also ketamine dealer, Michael Mendoza of the MendozaReport.com, now available in Pig Latin, actually, which is crazy.
Dang.
Yeah, my 2-year-old son, he speaks Pig Latin. Everything's backwards. Welcome back.
Yeah, I was the one who dosed Elijah with ketamine some months ago, if you guys remember that saga.
Yeah.
So, I thought you just talked about it earlier today, so good times, but I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Do you guys remember that when my friend told me it was a nicotine pouch and it turned out it was ketamine? And I was at Ryan Long's comedy show, tripping balls on ketamine, and I didn't know what was happening. I thought I was dying, and it turned out I was in a K-hole. Yeah. And I had to go home.
Also, also me and Kaylin had to go look for you, and we were looking for like 20 minutes. And then we called your brother. He was like, "Oh yeah, he's at home." We're like, "Okay, that's fine." So
yeah, but the whole night I thought I was on the ceiling. That was why I was. I thought I couldn't. I saw myself in the bed. You know what I mean? So next time your friend, and I have nothing against that person, but let's just say we haven't hung out since. You know what I mean? Next time you give me ketamine, perhaps tell me. Make sure I know what I'm taking.
So you're not saying you wouldn't take it. You're just saying just let you know in advance so this way everything will be good.
Yeah, I actually wanted to play a quick video here that I thought was absolutely hilarious from Ryan Long. So as we're talking about how ridiculous the world's gotten and how insane people have been, Ryan Long put out a video that I actually thought was fan-freaking-tastic about just how stupid people have become. Speaking of being at his show, where he talks about, it's titled, Trying to Mourn Charlie Kirk Without Putting Qualifiers in Front of Your Condemnation of Political Violence. Check this out.
As someone who disagrees with him, obviously I disagree with him on everything, although we didn't see eye to eye. No. As someone with a differing opinion, almost everything. Should I get specific with the things I disagree with him on? So what I want to do is make my post that people shouldn't be killed for their opinions, but figuring out the perfect amount of qualifiers to include has been near impossible. Political violence on all sides needs to stop. Like, essentially, I want people to know that I'm good because I'm against murder, but I'm also good because I disagree with them. Guns are bad. It's something that says, I care, I have empathy, but also if you disagree with them on anything, that's none of my business, you know? Like, well, do we know anyone with empathy? What did they post? Although I disagree with them on 90% of things, to 99% of things. Did I wait too long, even? I mean, I'm not touching Israel stuff with a 10-foot pole. Now the right's figured out how to get people fired, too, which is adding another layer of complication.
What do you post what you actually think?
Why don't you grow the f*** up? What are you, retarded? The goal of social media is to say the least amount possible while also not saying something when you're supposed to say something.
What do you
talk
notice?
to me when you understand social media? Like, I wanted to feel compassionate. This fitness influencer went with all this evil makes me sick. That's kind of pretty good, I guess, sort of. No, she's getting f***ing crushed. Mitchell Robinson just said he feels bad for the family and he's getting f***ing killed. Kristen Chenoweth says, I'm so upset, didn't always agree with him, but appreciated some perspective. She's in a f***ing shitstorm right now, even though I think he's bad news. No! You know, it's times like this I question if I even want to be an actor. You're screwed. So then you disagree with him? Do you even know what a qualifier is? Why didn't you have that energy for the last 45 tragedies? Delete your other tweets before they can get you on the hypocrisy. Maybe we should do a video where you cry. No, that's crazy. We're not going to cry. Think. It sounds like selective empathy to me. Time is running out. Rabbi Shmuley's using this to raise money. Maybe that could be you. You could get rich off this. Everything is at stake. That's it. Although I disagree, dying is bad. Sent.
Sorry, I wasn't planned. I had to bring up a Ryan Long video because I did ketamine at a Ryan Long show accidentally. That's a good bit start. So I accidentally did ketamine at Ryan Long's comedy show. All right,
It's a nice transition in.
Yeah, it is. All right, so we got to talk about this this movement right now. I believe that our leaders are gearing us towards accepting anti-Semitism laws, anti-constitutional anti-Semitism enforcement, not just on foreigners who are here on visas. But I want to remind you that when we came back to the United States, our lawyer told us, because my wife obviously is a green card holder, I also like the fact that people are so confused about my actual family and history because of all the lies and rumors people say, and the lies and rumors I put out about myself, which is another qualifier, that they're like, there's a viral post with like 3 million views that was like, Elijah says all this about like Charlie. Meanwhile, his wife is a Jewish immigrant with a green card. So we get some applause for that one. That's pretty fantastic. He said, wonder what she thinks. Wonder what she thinks.
Yeah.
That being said, before we talk about that, I want to give a huge shout out to one of our sponsors for today as we jump into showing and proving to you exactly what's going on. Sports fans, if you're out there and you're ready to bet with confidence right now, MyBookie has got an incredible deal for you. When you opt in and use promo code RIFT, that's RAFT, you'll get your first bet back if it loses up to $500. You heard that right. Lose your bet, and MyBookie's got your back with a refund up to $500. Now, it's the perfect way to jump into the action without the worry. Just head to bit.ly/joinwithrift, opt in and enter the promo code RIFT, or go to mybookie.com promo code RIFT to claim this offer. Don't miss out. Sign up today at bit.ly/joinwithrift. I don't understand why that's the code. I would just go to mybookie.com and use RIFT, but I guess that's why do we have that?
It's just a link shortener, but also let me mention something too.
MyBookie.com is pretty short.
Yeah. So with a code, but I mean it's meant to be like a referral link. But also too, go to the link in the description if you want to use it, because for some reason if you type in all caps it doesn't work. I was kind of working on it with a team the other day, but if the Rift is just capitalized, it works. If it's all lowercase, it works. But if it's all caps, it doesn't work. But it's just the style that we have it in right here. But just click on the link in the description, easiest way. So
perfect. Join today, you get a free bet, and that doesn't cost you anything. So if you're against gambling, there's really no gamble here because it's free money, and that's how they get you. That's how they get you. But honestly, I'm a betting man. I live my life at high stakes. Remember, I always say this: terms apply, and there are limits. But also, if you have a problem with gambling, if you ever don't like gambling, or you have more obligation to stand against it, then also don't do that as well. But for those that do like a little bet here and there and can bet responsibly, please check it out because it actually is a pretty damn good deal. Okay, let's jump right into this. So we started off with this clip here of Donald Trump, for those that are just joining today, talking about how Charlie Kirk stood against the idea that hate speech existed. That's a very important qualifier. So right now, a lot of people are trying to use Charlie Kirk's death for their own personal grift and gain. And a lot of people are accusing everybody else of doing that while they themselves are doing it. So you have people accusing people of trying to gain things, and then they're countering people just to gain followers. Like there's one person we know who I'm not going to say who we know may not have Talmud in their name now and may not be an enforcement officer of the law, who obviously have switched up very quickly, very easily in favor of Israel in what is definitely not a paid statement, even though there was $150 million allegedly sent out, and then there was a tour sent out, and that certain prime minister went on his show and
had
whatever.
a dinner. And,
had a dinner, whatever, the whole thing. Allegedly. But that's a whole other story. Now what we have is we have a lot of people that are trying to use this. And one of the scary parts that we're going to bring up tonight, we're going to keep tracking Charlie's murder, is this new conversation on hate speech. And what's most shocking is that it's coming from the right wing, where this is not Democrats. This is why sometimes when you hear like people saying, wow, so many Democrats like Trump now in the Republican Party, maybe it's because the Republican Party has become more Democrat, not because Democrats have become more Republican. Have you ever thought about that? Here's a clip, and then we're going to jump in the discussion and show you exactly what you can expect from our country if we don't stand up against this madness.
Charlie said, that there was no such thing as hate speech. He obviously, no one anticipated what happened to Charlie, but you have always...
Yeah, so he said that, but he might not be against that today. I don't know why that clip's so short. I think it says here, he might not be saying that now, Tony said. That was the full clip. This is discussing a way to honor Charlie's legacy. I want to start the discussion there. What does he mean by that? Like, obviously, we know what Charlie meant. It was clear. Mm-hmm. And I want to remind people that just because we had disagreements with Charlie, on maybe Israel or other statements, we've always been clear that on most issues we agree. And even with a lot of Republicans, it's just that one issue. And now it's becoming more issues to me. Now we're starting to talk weird. Now Trump is saying, I don't think Charlie Kirk would be against hate speech or believe it doesn't exist if he was alive today. My bullshit meter's going off, and this feels like an opportunistic pull to use people's hearts to be like, yeah, if you support Charlie in his horrific murder, then you also would start to believe in hate speech. And that is seed programming, propaganda seed programming. They're not telling us what hate speech is bad yet. Pam Bondi is. Trump isn't saying what hate speech is bad, what hate speech he stands against, except for the fact what he's hinting at is look, I think we now know hate speech exists, and also I think Charlie would agree with me too. I don't know if you see it differently. That's what I'm saying.
One thing about politicians is they always like to never let a tragedy go to waste. They want to go ahead and they want to implement these laws. This is something the Trump administration has been working for a while. A lot of the Republicans as well. We've seen it on the college campus where they're trying to silence people coming into the country as well. They're checking their social media. I mean, we even have here in Florida, we have Ron DeSantis flying out to Israel just to sign laws to help protect against anti-Semitism. So they basically are using this as a tool to go ahead and try to rile everybody up. I know right now we have this thing in the conservative party where I guess we're doing like a cancel culture type of thing, which, if someone is saying outlandish things, a company may not want to have them there. But at the same time, I think it's becoming a slippery slope, because what we're going to do is we're going to get used to the censorship, and then they kind of want us to be on board. So I'm interested to see how that all plays out. But, there's hate speech is just crazy to even say. If someone says something that is threatening somebody's life, something that's endangering somebody, we already have laws against this. So right now, this is just a way to silence us, and we know where it all comes from. It's coming from the criticism that we're throwing towards Israel. Where people are waking up, the boomers are fading off, and they're losing control. So what they want to do is they want to silence us all to control the narrative.
Yeah, do you want to see the craziest video ever? So there's several videos that I want to play that are not, I don't know if they're in here, but I think it's important that we watch them. Our politicians, shortly after Charlie was horrifically murdered on September 10th of 2025 by somebody whom we don't know for sure who it was. There was a video of our ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, who they're now calling, what are they calling him? I'm just kidding. I wasn't going to say what I was going to say. I don't want to be disrespectful to a guy who has no respect for our country. But they're in Israel. Now, while they're in Israel, Trump is in America saying things like this. Listen.
We have to remember October 7th, one of the worst, most violent days in the history of the world, not just there, the history of the world. And I got to see the tapes, and I wish I didn't see them, actually. But I got to see them. And I want an end. I want the hostages released. And I think it's going to be okay. But it has been a brutal period of time. But this has been going on for a long time. This is not something that's over the last year, 2 years. But this has been for decades and decades. But we want it to end. We have to have the hostages back immediately. That's what the people of Israel want. They want them back. And we want the fighting to stop. And it's going to stop. But a lot of bad things. You know, Hamas said that they're going to put the hostages up as bait. They're going to put the hostages in front of any attack. And that's pretty brutal. We haven't heard that one in a long time. So we have to remember that. So I have a disagreement with the Prime Minister on that score.
Wow. Well, that's weird. Don, I was told that this entire time, the whole reason why they had to blow up the buildings because Hamas has been saying that they're going to put innocent humans as shields.
Yeah.
Wait a second. So wait, you haven't heard that in a very long time.
And they also had cameras. If you had a camera
Correct.
as well,
I remember that.
Yeah.
If you have a security camera on your house, it means that there's a command center inside. So that's why South Africa, we got to blow up South Africa next because obviously the high crime means that there's Hamas, centers.
Absolutely.
I put up cameras in my house. Maybe they should blow up my house. Unfortunately, they would kill a lot of Jews if they blew up my house because I live in the most Jewish city in America. I don't know why. I guess my wife feels more comfortable here. But
you wonder why there's rumors.
Yeah, but well, dude, there's like 17 synagogues in my city. It is crazy. I literally down everywhere where I've moved. I've lived within there's literally a string that goes around my city and my neighborhood, and I was thinking about clipping it. I shouldn't say that. I wouldn't do that. I just thought that'd be funny.
Yeah.
But funny in not a threatening way. Just because I don't like strings, nothing against the people who put it up. But he said that. So number one, that's a funny thing. You're like, okay, so maybe Hamas hasn't been using human shields. Maybe this has been an ethnic cleansing. But going to the speech part about this, so I want to pick up on. He said two things that stood out to me. Number one, he said that October 7th was one of the deadliest days in history, which is, I wouldn't say it ranks in the probably top 1,000.
No, I wouldn't
put it.
I wouldn't put it up at the top. No.
I would probably not even the top 1,000 deadliest days. Horrific. Look, I don't think it's great. I'm not part of the camp that likes seeing Jews' blood run deep. I'm not part of a group of people that just wants to see all the Jews in the world die. And if people think that and that's what they want, then they're fair to think that. What I do want, and people are clear, is that like this foreign nation and Zionist interests in our country to remove itself from positions of power, to be removed because these interests conflict with American interests. Americans of all colors, of all ethnicities, it conflicts with our interest of serving ourselves first. We can get into ethnic discussions later. I don't mind ethno-nationalist discussions, but the most important part is if you are an American citizen, Zionism is counterproductive towards the welfare of your people, the welfare of world peace, and the welfare of Western civilization because of the amount of people that flood into Europe because of the wars that we fight for them. But I want to play this as well. Let me see if I can find this video here. It is kind of crazy in all of this that what we have, oh man, I forgot which video I was going to show there for a second. But what we have here is we have Zion Dawn saying that, oh yeah. And I just want to point out the reason why I do the qualifier. I'm going to be having a rabbi on the show coming up. People don't realize how brutally unpopular Netanyahu really is.
He was actually being protested.
Correct.
Big time that people were taken to the streets, especially before October 7th. There was a lot of protests against him. And even October 7th, I have a lot of questions as well, just like Charlie Kirk did. He went on and kind of talked about it, how they were able to infiltrate, how they were in there for so many hours. I mean, you're talking about people that brag all the time that, we're so secure that even if a mouse or a bug walked across, we can pick it up.
They've killed plenty of children. Throwing rocks.
It's terrible. Yeah. And it's terrible anything to happen. But then you're telling me this is like the most advanced, and then you have people in Tacoma trucks and lawnmower airplanes coming in. And
loud too. Like, like it sounds like a lawnmower.
And so it's coming. And then there's nothing done about it for hours. They allowed it to go. They allowed it to continue. So it's one of those things.
Remember they had non-precision strikes. You hear the helicopters like we might be hitting our own people, and it's like go take the shot. They blew up because they wanted there to be a bunch of incinerating vehicles to use incineration rounds. I saw, we know.
Well, they're
this.
trigger friendly. We know that in Gaza. Gaza's a parking lot right now. I mean, that's pretty much what they're doing is they're just firing shots off anywhere. So yeah, I have a lot of questions when it comes to October 7th, just like I have a lot of questions that come to 9/11, and I think a lot of these are all connected. So
well, thank God, Thank God that I have a lot of questions about the people working at 7-Eleven as well. I just found out today that they're going to raise the price. I think it's from like $10,000 to $100,000 for corporations for H-1Bs. That's better than what we've had.
Well, you
I'll
changed
take the
Ed's
win.
life. You gave Ed a job. We got him
Correct.
out of 7-Eleven. So
Yeah,
shout
but
out to Ed.
sometimes Ed still says he wants to try my Slurpee, and I haven't figured out what that means.
Yeah.
I haven't figured it out.
That's rough.
And that's the head bob. You know? When he said, while his head's bobbing, he goes, I want to see your head bobble. And I don't know what head, Ed. No, speaking of this, so there's actually a coalition, a lot of people who are against Netanyahu, and I want to play this right here. Here's the group of the Daily Wire staff meeting in revolt. These are former Daily Wire employees. Listen.
We are a people. We are connected to each other only because of our religion that we accepted on Mount Sinai. That covenant with Hashem is our homeland, our constitution, and our only Jewishness.
I stand before you today to make one truth clear. The state of Israel does not represent the Jewish people. Benjamin Netanyahu may speak at this site, but he does not speak for us.
We won't fight in your army, Netanyahu. Your PR people say you need more soldiers. You don't need more soldiers. What you need is less wars.
Facts.
You have no standing to call yourself the Jewish state, and you have no standing to speak in the name of the Jews. I am here to say that you and I are not the same people. There is no us or we between Jews and Zionists. You are outside the tent of Klal Yisrael. You are an enemy of the Jewish religion, a traitor to the Jewish people into which you were born, and your attempts to draft Jewish boys and girls into your immoral army will not succeed. Every day now they are arresting Jewish boys and girls for refusing to go to the Zionist army. We will go to jail. We survived empires. We survived the Romans. We survived Greeks. We survived anti-Semites. And the Jewish people will survive Zionism as well.
I mean, look, these are very Jewish people. Like, I think that guy on the left actually was responsible for my parents having a short sale of their house in 2008. So, like, this is by no means an argument that, you know, somehow to be against Netanyahu and Zionism is in a solely anti-Semitic position.
Yeah.
And we saw that with the Greta Van Susteren interview and Netanyahu when she asked him if you were responsible for killing Charlie Kirk. And we're going to get into that in a little bit later as well, sort of why they have to control the conversation. Being asked that question, he made sure that she knew that that was an anti-Semitic question, because he said that questions like that are the reason why the Holocaust happened. That's his exact summary of like a 2-minute answer. And I want to remind you, where there's many words to simple questions, sometimes there is guilt. Okay, like that's all I'm going to say. When someone asks you, like, did you or did you not kill someone? You go, no. That's all you say, no, I didn't. Like 3 words, 4 words. When you go back in 700 AD, you know, it's like, okay, all right. Now I didn't think you were suspicious. Now I do. And with Netanyahu, I'll explain to you guys why. We'll talk about the Charlie stuff after the speech stuff on picking up what we've learned since then about who's maybe responsible directly, whether it was Tyler Robinson or not. But in the meantime, it's like, I think this brings up a valid point. This is why when people are like, you know, just say it's all the Jews, or just write all the Jews off entirely. Right now, look, I understand people who have that position. And I understand, I listen to them. I totally understand, like, the basic argument they make, which is like, you know, well, if we did remove all Jews, then we wouldn't have all these problems, A, B, C, and D. And it's true. However, it's like a I live in the world of reality. Like, well, how can we fight, and who's the enemy, and let's go down one by one. Kind of like, I totally get the ethno battles in the country. I also want white people to have their homeland. I also don't want, you know, people in my country that don't share my values, and my kids to grow up. I don't want my kids to race mix. I don't care if people do that. I'm not condemning my friends who do that. I just didn't want that for myself or my children. However, I also understand that we do live in a diverse culture right now. I was born into one. Yeah, it hasn't always been, but like, what I'd like to start out with now is realizing, like that, with the ethno question, a lot of white people I don't share values with either right now. And even if it's safe living with them, their votes will kill me. The way that they're voting, it has killed me, and it is killing me. And the policies they're putting in place are problematic, and they will always be until. So there's multiple facets. We do have an ethno problem. We do have a Zionist problem. We do have, outside of Zionism, we do have an Eastern Judaistic Talmudic problem with influence in our culture. Like, there's a lot of aspects, but here's what I'm telling people. We can't fight all battles at the same time, and we can't win every war. And there was somebody who did try to do an all-out assault and front to remove this, and he lost, right, to the Judeo-American regime. So I'm not. If we want to win, what do we want right now? And in my opinion, my most important thing is that I want to reduce. I'd like to eliminate, but reduce the ability for Netanyahu, AIPAC, and the Zionist influence in our country from having the ability to so easily manipulate our elections, our leaders, our technology. And like we found out, right, that like a bunch of Samsung phones are built with Israeli tracking. We found this also just came out as well, which is why Netanyahu said that when you carry around a phone, you carry around a piece of Israel. So this is the stuff I want to stop. And if we can't even stop that, then you're not going to get anywhere more extreme. And remember, just because you're extreme and you have an idealistic view of what you want for the country, go talk to the average American, and they can't even handle deportations right now of illegals that already violated the law. They're not going to, support removing legal citizens because they are a part of a religion you don't like who have committed no crimes. So you got to be realistic with what you want for the country, even if the ideal. It's kind of I guess it's kind of like even dating and stuff. Guys will call a bunch of girls mid, and then the girl that they date is more mid than the girls that they called mid. But sometimes what you can get and what's reality and what works for your life is beyond just what you're dreaming about and what's going on. However, as we talk about, so I want to get more into this. I want to remind you guys, I got something really cool to tell you. There's this new book called Rooftop Koreans. We talk a lot about not having culture, and whether you're into graphic novels, whether you have teenagers, you want them to read cool stuff that actually celebrates our history and the things that happen in our nation. There's a brand new graphic novel that just dropped on Kickstarter. If you know the history, during the LA riots in '92, when the city was burning and the cops were overwhelmed, Korean American business owners literally had to take the rooftops with rifles to protect their families and stores. They became legends, and the Rooftop Koreans are a name forever sealed in history. Now, this book brings the spirit back for a new generation. It's over 140 pages, full color, and tells the story of Ernest Guan, a Korean American store owner who shoots a criminal in a self-defense during a robbery. The media twists the truth, LA spirals into chaos, and Ernest is forced to rise up and lead a new generation of Rooftop Koreans. It's about survival, family, and standing your ground when no one else will. If you're tired of cancel culture and you believe in the right to defend yourself and community, this book is for you. Go to Kickstarter right now and search Return of the Rooftop Koreans and grab your copy today. Back it, share it, experience this one-of-a-kind story. Honestly, guys, got to put your money where your mouth is, and this is a great way as we do. We do take super chats here, and we do read them all, and we like that, but I don't like running on donations. I like to create a product and have you guys buy products so you get something physical for your money. I don't mind super chats. I don't mind donations. I'm not against them. I think that they're a fine way. Some people fund through donations. A lot of creators, most live creators, make almost all their money through donations. I prefer to do ad reads so that I'm not just asking you guys specifically for money. I'm saying, here's something cool you might be interested in backing or sharing or getting that can benefit your life or is good for your family. And in the process, we both benefit. So that's why we do these, for those that don't know. But I want to jump back into to these rabbis talking. Listen to this, and then we're going to talk about a little bit about why we have to shut it down. Okay, why we got to shut this down. You got Jews speaking out against Netanyahu now. It's not looking good for the regime. And those who you cannot control, you kill. And for those that you cannot kill, you must silence.
To Prime Minister Netanyahu and all those who share his militant vision, I say, you may try to draft our sons and daughters into your institutions. You may build an apparatus to break our will. You may pursue conquest and control. But we will not trade the Torah for tanks. We will not trade the book for the bomb. We will not surrender our souls to an anti-Jewish machinery of permanent domination.
Okay, so what he's talking about, I want to go to you on this, which we talked to Cruz about, is there's factions going on inside of Israel, and we believe that Netanyahu and his administration want to ramp up anti-Semitism across the world. They're actually trying to ramp it up because then it justifies them acting the way they are. It's like everyone's against us, nobody likes us, we need your help. And it also allows them to then put the laws that they want in and saying, hey guys, people are really angry and mad at us, we got to do something about this. And a lot of Jews are like, we're just trying to live our life. We're just trying to give you guys pornography and other things that you guys consume. maybe we're not trying to die.
Yeah.
We're just trying to have sex and pervert your kids or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? But doesn't mean we want you to kill us. And they know that people are like, getting mad about the pornography because they're starting to put eyes on the war, and then it makes them think about Israel, and they start to look at what else Jews are doing, and then they start to, then the white man learns to hate. So some of these Jews are kind of like not supporting this, but I only brought this whole section up because I know we've talked a lot about this here. I think that this division of Jews running Israel is trying to get anti-Semitism to increase, and everyone's like, we're noticing now. I think they want you to notice. They're trying to get you to notice, and that's why they're so flagrant. Because they need you to hate so that they can put the laws that they want in. And we do hate. But maybe we're not winning by hating. And maybe that's why some people are taking a moderate approach and trying to avoid blaming Israel. Maybe they're just afraid of what's going to happen, or if this is what they want from us, and we're trying to keep it down for a little while longer. I don't know what your take is on that, but
well, we've seen them do pushes for pretty much controlling social media. There was a couple, of leaders from Israel came out and they said that they're hoping that social media starts to crack down on anti-Semitism. And there is a division going on in Israel. There are groups that are for Netanyahu and there's groups that are not. The one thing they want you to do, though, is they want to make it so anything you say against Netanyahu or his regime is that you're being anti-Semitic. They want to lump everybody together. So I always say that, I don't think all Jews are bad, but unfortunately the ones in power are doing terrible actions. They're destroying our country from within, and then they're also going ahead and destroying other countries, as we've seen. But they want to limit the speech as much as possible, and that's why the only reason you're seeing the Trump administration jump into this and trying to push the whole hate speech and all this stuff is because they want to control the narrative as much as possible. Is it possible that, they are allowing certain things to happen so this way we speak out more? It is a possibility. But regardless, we shouldn't be bending over backwards for any foreign country. We should only be putting America first. We should be worrying about the American people. As I mentioned, what happened on October 7th, it's anytime someone passes away or goes through anything like that, that is a terrible thing. But we're more focused on what's going on in our country. We can't be worrying about what's happening overseas when our country's crumbling from within. We have, someone riding on a train getting stabbed in the neck. You have all these other incidences where women are, getting attacked in the streets. We can't allow this to continue. We have to put all eyes on America, and we need to stop playing this game with these people.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Mendoza? What do you think about this distinction, right? Because I was laughing. I was with I'm not going to say who, but I was with a potential investor, and he's Gen X. He's a really cool guy getting cigars. I really liked him, and you know what I'm talking about. We went and got cigars, but he said something. I was totally laughing because he was like, you gotta people are not going to digest things because if you just say it's all the Jews, or you just do this and you don't explain the groups and get people on your thinking, then you're not gonna you're gonna lose people. And I'm like, do you know what Nick Fuentes' numbers are right now? And I showed him, and he's like, all right, basically, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you should just call them all out or whatever. And he was saying we're in a tough position where some people do want to just reduce the conversation down, and they are attracted to that. Our culture is really split, particularly young millennials and Gen Z. They just want reductionist arguments. All women are whores, or we got to get all the Jews off, and it's ways to confront what we're dealing with, and to not beat around the bush, because so many people have been saying, what was it, Frankus and whatever and all this stuff, and it's really done us a disservice. At the same time, there's also a bunch of Gen X and boomers and stuff right now. Yeah, they'll die off, but we still need them. They have the money, they have the resources, they own the homes, they have the manipulation of the markets that we can't lose them too, and we kind of got to wake them up, or we're not going to win. I don't know if we can. I don't know what you think about that, but in terms of messaging with this stuff, we're trying to kind of take a middle ground to attract both, being blunt, but also take them on. I definitely can see the divide. I don't know if you're talking about, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. You can see the divide. I don't know what's more effective, but I think it is just an age gap. I think one works better with older people, one works better with younger people. I don't know if you see a difference.
Well, first of all, I didn't really get a question from that, but I think what you're saying is, this is one thing that we've been talking about behind the scenes for a long time now, which is, some of us have been red-pilled for longer than other people. And I think that when people get red-pilled more recently, they're just now, these relevant facts that everyone's pulling up, it's still like shocking to people. So it still works with some people, and then some people do like to engage with the content, whether it's tweets or streams or whatever. But I'm at this point where I'm kind of tired of it, and like it does kind of just seem like the lowest hanging fruit for the lowest common denominator to blame Jews for everything, even though, I mean, they are behind a lot of things. And this is not me taking money, getting the call.
What were you blaming for the tech problems in the last show?
Brian. Yeah. Besides that, like, it's just like I just got tired of having to talk about every single episode. But I mean, I will say that they are behind everything, so sometimes it is just hard to not talk about it. I mean,
they're involved in everything. Like even now when we're talking about the hate speech laws, it all comes down to anti-Semitism,
right? And
it's like we're not the ones inventing that. Like people that accuse us of talking about this all the time. You have to intentionally not talk about current events if you want to avoid talking about them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you have to just talk about like music but even then it's like.
Yeah, and
who runs the music industry?
Right, exactly. Yeah, I think people could be forgiven if they thought that if they thought like our prep started from Jews and then kind of precipitated from
Jews
that.
aren't mentioned. It's just like
no,
this.
not at all.
Look,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So look, here's the next post about the control. So they're trying to go get control from inside the Congress, even to control speech in the Congress. They don't. The GOP now is trying to root out any congressman or congresswoman. This is why I know laws are coming. They want to root out anybody who's isolationist. So anybody who's not neocon, like Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene, who, by the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene said that there were Jewish space lasers, and they called her crazy. And we just found out yesterday, over $10 billion developed in the development. Jewish space lasers are now being deployed. This is not a joke. We'll talk about that in a second.
Oh my gosh.
The Jewish space lasers, I watched a whole like BBC statement on it, and like, I guess it was real. And you're like, that's why they want her out. And when you see that they're trying to root out people who are speaking out against Israel, I believe it's not just because like they don't want anti-Israel voices. They don't want anti-Israel votes.
Yeah.
So they want to be able to put votes that restrict speech based on anti-Semitism, and they want everybody to go along with it. Because if you have opposition, it may not pass, because if you lose a few votes with the Democrats, it may not pass. Listen to this. House Speaker Mike Johnson held a private meeting with AIPAC and Jewish leaders on Wednesday on Capitol Hill, wherein he reportedly pledged to screen out isolationist GOP candidates to prevent the wing of the party from growing larger in the House. Isolationist means anti-Israel. It means anti-neocon. If you watch the show regularly, you would know that they are working together. They're not the same thing, but they have similar end goals. Representative Tim Walberg, who is also part of the meeting, revealed that he had been texting recently with Anti-Defamation League CEO Jonathan Greenblatt about the proliferation of anti-Semitic conspiracy theories about the killing of influencer Charlie Kirk, Jewish Insider reported. Though nearly all the participants remained mum on what went down, Representative David Kustoff tweeted out an image of the room, and you can make out as many participants, including several Jewish insiders, with the hats, which actually come full size, but they're unfortunately made of wool. And these women often forget to turn the dryer off because it's the Sabbath and they can't press the button. So the hats shrink very, very much. Everything that they touch shrinks. Even a donut is missing a piece of the bread in the middle. They couldn't even give you a full piece of bread. The donut and the bagel, they took a little piece out to keep for themselves, and you got to buy the donut hole separately. You think that like that? They took a piece of bread and they sell it to you in two parts.
I haven't heard this one.
Yeah, so now you got to buy you can't. You know what I mean? It's like, and it's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing. But also on top of that, it's like, yeah, it's a crazy thing. The coins shrink too. Mm-hmm. But like, what do you make of this? Because I mean, I don't know what you make of this. I just like we have the head of the GOP meeting with Jewish leaders saying, we're going to make sure that we root out, this is what we talk about with primaries, with AIPAC and with Jonathan Greenblatt. So we're going to smear through Jonathan Greenblatt and the ADL. So we'll come after their personal lives. And then in terms of their electability, we will come in and we will make sure that they don't win their primary. We'll primary them so that they can't even run in the election. Even if the people want them. This is the way that America does what Europe does. Europe doesn't nominate people. Like in Ireland, the way that they're keeping immigrants in is that they have to be nominated by the parties to run.
Yeah.
And the parties are choosing in Ireland not to nominate the populist candidates who are against immigration. So they don't nominate them, so then you can never vote on them because they're not on the ballot. And that's how they control it there. And then we always look at that and we're like, man, this multi-party system is terrible. Thank God we have a choice.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you? Because in the primaries, if you don't support Israel, all the money goes into the campaign of your opponent and they undermine you. Look what happened to the wheelchair guy.
Yeah, no, we see it time and time again. What they're going to do is if anybody's against Israel, AIPAC's just going to outprice them. So that's going to be one big thing. And the ADL is terrible. I mean, if you really want to see how the organization started, you should look into that as well. But we're seeing that with Thomas Massie. I mean, as you mentioned, that's a perfect example. You have Trump trying to push Thomas Massie out. He's putting tweets out against him. He wants him gone. But then he wants to bring in people like Randy Fine and all these other characters who are definitely, pro-Israel, pro-war. I mean, even Randy Fine saying that babies should die. It's okay. He could sleep at night. These are the type of people that they want us to put in office. And it's not because of their, the type of character that they have. It's obviously based off the fact that they have allegiance to Israel, that they're going to agree to any kind of bill that they want to pass, and this way they can take control of our country.
Yeah, I think someone else said, "Why do I look so different tonight?" I don't think I look different at all.
I don't know, but we have the same shirt on.
Yeah, I think
that was not planned.
I think that was definitely on accident.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. Now I want to get into like some of the way that they're controlling speech. So obviously, you guys remember that we had this issue go on where we had to get rid of TikTok because China was spying on our phones.
Anytime that you have Republicans and Democrats agree together, it's one of the most rarest things. But when it comes to Israel, that's what we have. And that's what happened with TikTok. They went ahead, they wanted to ban TikTok because they knew that the information coming out, people were being pro-Palestine. They were showing the videos of what's happening to children, happening to the women over there. And Israel couldn't stand it. So what they did is they said that they're tracking our devices and everything. And it's
look at this though. I'm saying, look at this. Can you read this by chance from there? Look at this. What does this say? What this is actually crazy.
TikTok and final talks to bought by Oracle. No, we already know Oracle. Silver Lake and
Andreessen, I guess.
Andreessen Horowitz.
Yeah, so TikTok is being bought by the Jews, and what they've done is, like, let me go to this rest. The U.S. government. I don't know why this is cut off. Sorry, guys. The website is formatted weird. It's not our fault. I promise you. It's like just a weird format. TikTok, which the U.S. government moved to ban last year for allowing criticism of Israel to go viral, is reportedly now in final talks to be bought by a small group of Zionist billionaires. Larry Ellison, the Oracle mega billionaire, who had donated millions to the IDF directly, to the actual Israeli Defense Force, just had his kid buy Paramount CBS to have Barry Wise run, is trying to buy CNN, and now will buy TikTok. Glenn Greenwald noted on X, lucky break for Israel. Like, okay, so this is just huge in itself. Glenn Greenwald is also Jewish, hence this is not an anti-Semitic thing to notice. Somebody I saw posted the dumbest thing, though, and they said, like, why don't white people just get rich and do the same thing? I'm like, white people do own enterprise and companies. Jews don't own everything.
No. But we also had Elon purchase X, and then the second he came out against the ADL, he had to go take a tour, and head over to Israel and check out all these different locations. I mean...
Well, I was going to say, but the reason why white people can't do this is because the political forces that have prevented white people from doing anything to benefit white people. We don't have freedom of association. Mm-hmm. We don't have the ability to create our own clubs. We don't have the ability to create our own schools. White people used to be like this. We used to ban colored people and Jews from coming to our clubs. This is what it was always like in Beverly Hills, in West Palm Beach, where we're at right now. Jews could never join the clubs here. And Jews went through the political force and lobbied and got the laws changed. So as long as Jewish people are in political office lobbying. Now, why is it that we can't just come together as white people? Really, there is nothing stopping us inherently except for the ADL, Southern Poverty Law Center, instead of the Department of Justice, who will come against you, instead of your attorney general of your state, instead of the state legislator in your state, except for your local government bodies, except for activist firms, corporations, BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard. Like, what it is they created this pillar so that white people can't associate. We can do this. This is what we always did. So the very thing that they tell us that we're evil for having done in the past, they're doing now. It's just them doing it. So they've made us doing it. Like, it's one of these things where it's like only I can do it and you can't, because it's like when a kid tags you and then you go to tag him back and he goes, "I'm not playing anymore. I quit. I'm not playing anymore." And you're like, "Wait, I was just about to get you back." And it's like, you've changed the rules of the game mid-game, and now I can't get you, but I'm like, this makes no sense. You're right in my reach. I could tag you right now. So they're right in our reach, but the game's changed. And so you see, like, Arvil immediately is under investigation for just trying to live. Like, this is not an offense to him. Like, literally just trying to, like, create, like, a little, like, boony shack for, like, white people of, like, in the middle of shit pant nowhere. Like, it's nowhere. And black people don't even like to live in, they don't like to go in nature. Why do you want to live out there? And they're mad because they just don't want white people being able to do anything for their benefit. And they hate it. They hate it. You know, they just got me. They just destroyed a very important income source for me over my views on Israel and the way that I support white people. That's considered extremism because I say that white people should be allowed to act collectively. That's not even an extreme statement. That's not extreme. Like, so
Well,
but people say, why don't white people do this? There's a real reason why they've made it nearly legally impossible. We're trying to figure it out. We're trying to figure this out.
Yeah. Well, what they've done is they've made it so if you go ahead and you come together, just like you have with Orville, and, you know, over in, what state is it again?
I think it's in Arkansas.
Arkansas. Over in Arkansas, you know, you're going to get a lot of pushback from that. They've gone to the point where they won't allow us to come together. They also gone to the point where they want to teach us that everything in our history is terrible and everything we've ever did is wrong. And they want us also to think, and our children to think, that we have some type of privilege and that we need to go ahead and apologize for everything in history, which is crazy because this was our country. They've come here, they've infiltrated to the point where they have all of us confused. Everybody else is allowed to come together to do whatever they want. But yet if a group of whites come together or try to do anything as united, then they pretty much stop us. And I think it's out of fear. They don't want us to come together. They don't want us to have, you know, our similar values and the way we think. They don't want that. They want to go ahead and they want to create their quote unquote melting pot or whatever you want to call it. You know, they want to send over as many illegals as they can to flood our nation. And, you know, I mean, they've been doing it for years. They say, go bomb a country for us. And after you bomb the country, we just want you to inherit everybody. But meanwhile, in Israel, they're not taking any of those people in. It's not like a multicultural place in Israel. It's just mainly Israelis.
Yeah, and I want to tell you guys real fast. Number one, as we're talking about this, one of the things that's kind of crazy, people, if you work with me, you'll find that you just like hear me in my office, like screaming and stuff. I don't know. Do you guys ever hear me? Just like, fuck. Do you ever hear me? I don't know.
Yeah, you swear all the time.
Yeah, I like have like freakouts and things, but I'm like,
especially when you and Mike run out of Van Man.
yeah, that's true. Which we will talk about later. But honestly, like the only downside to having to working your testosterone is that you get like some back knee, usually a little bit. Like you can get some back knee, and then you also get like rage, like let's call it like roid rage, you know. But the nice thing is that there's a little more mild ways to work on your testosterone than like therapies that actually works very effectively, that doesn't have those nasty side effects. And it's actually a product called Man's Edge, because it's going to get you to the edge of where you would have the downsides, but with only the upside. I've never had any side effects from this alone directly that are bad, only good side effects, including like better libido, more energy in your lifts, like better sleep. Now, Man's Edge comes with like fenugreek, Tongod Ollie, NO2, IGF, like growth factor, and it's all in one carbon system that's under your tongue. And I take this every day. Well, actually, but I cycle. So like I'll skip like one day a week, and then I'll like sometimes go off of it for like a month and go back on it, because with anything with your hormones, you gotta like cycle. That's just like kind of what it is. But you essentially take two of these. So you go like this. You go take two of these, and then you put it under your tongue for about 30 seconds. And then I take the IGF-1 here. There's only one of these. And you hold it under your tongue for 30 seconds. But I don't think I have full 30 seconds. So I'm not going to do the full 30 seconds because I'm not supposed to be taking it on Fridays. However, you swallow it. It kind of tastes like root beer. And you will see signs of increase. Some of you guys have been taking it for a while, and you did see, especially your life with your in the bedroom, increase. Go to ElijahIGF1.com, ELIJAH, IGF, the number 1.com. Promo code Elijah. You get buy one, get one free with auto ship plus an additional 10% off. So you get two bottles for the price of one, literally at cost, and just straight to you. And make sure you click auto ship when you do it. Take this for 6 months. You will see growth, but this is also one of those things you got to take for a few months, because it's like hair growth supplements, anything. Like you're not going to see like results the next day. But after a few weeks, you'll see some results. After a couple of months, you'll see some results. And then around the 4th, 5th, 6th month, depending on who it is, you start to really get the effects from the therapy. Same thing goes with TRT. You don't feel the full effects of therapy for a few months. It's just what it takes when you use hormone influencing products. Check it out, ElijahIGF, the number 1.com. Appreciate you guys. All right. Let's also, let's continue on in this discussion. By the way, these have been much better discussions. I don't know if people can tell, but I've gotten so much less, just like talking about random shit. I've been more serious, more interested in actually like discussing what's going on in the world, trying to explain to you guys together what's happening because shit's gotten serious. And I've been really, really fucked up, man, for weeks. Since my car got stolen and the insurance was gapped and I had to pay that off plus buy a new car, I was at $104,000, and that's like, I'm not the richest guy in the world. And, I don't keep a ton of like liquid cash. So I think for anybody that's like not uber rich, losing $104,000 that was unexpected would be a huge fucking hit for anyone. And it's depressing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you lose that money, when you think what you could have done with it, I only say this because it put me on a sort of like a downward spiral. But at least I had a good income. And then the Jews came after my income successfully, actually, and really put me in a dire situation. I hadn't even responded to it yet. This was within a week of losing my car. I lose, like, I think a little more than a week, but it's like a week and a half. I lose one of my main contracts, and I'm like distraught. I'm like, so I lost all my money. I lose a bunch of my income, and then the next day I go into work trying to figure out what to do, and then Charlie's murdered. And then, like, even today, I almost got into a car pileup. My car, saved my life. So God is looking out for me. But one thing that happened, I've been so dark in my head, like so deeply dark and dissatisfied with life. But I've been channeling it into action. We have this big tour coming up, 8 schools in 8 weeks. We're starting with Liberty University on October 2nd in memorial of Charlie Kirk, our turning point. Sorry to Turning Point. This is not we're not calling the rest of our things our turning point. It's just called Rift U. We're just doing a little mini tour to honor Charlie. We're also not competing with Turning Point. I'll explain later. Rift U is not going to be having clubs. It's going to be trying to empower clubs on campus. So in the spirit of Charlie, decided that we're going to start honoring him by activating soldiers on the field. But unlike the people who killed Charlie, we're not asking them to use violence. We're asking them to use their voice to honor him. And on top of that, it's like, we have 3 new shows launching the next 90 days here on this network. And so, things have been stressful. They've been arduous and absolutely difficult. But then I also, in the midst of this, I felt so desperate. God started talking to me. I haven't heard God's voice in a long time. I have not heard God's voice in a long time. Like, because without holiness, you cannot see the Lord, right? The Bible's clear on that in the Bible. Like, when you're not living a holy life, you can't see Christ. And I don't live a holy life per se. You know what I mean? I'm a little bit of I'm like a reformed degenerate, in my own regard. And I don't hide that from people. Like, I'm not a fake, like I don't get on screen and I'm like Rob Smith and I'm like,
start role playing.
Conservative
LARPing.
values are important. And it's like, wait, aren't you having anal sex every night? That's weird. And like, I don't like those kind of people. Especially because, obviously I have some, like, Michael Hennessy's on the show. I don't judge him, but I leave it at this. I'm saying I felt desperate and to the point where I needed divine intervention because I was clear that I'm not going to kill myself and I'm not going to hurt anybody because I don't want anyone to read that tweet I put out and be like, then I die and then be like, oh, he killed himself. I did not kill myself. The Lord started speaking to me in mysterious ways. I have a personal serious problem going on in my personal life that's really been heavy on my heart. And some old black fella approaches me and tells me basically what to do with the problem in my life that doesn't even know that I have it, and is like, it's just like an interpersonal problem with somebody, and they're like, here's what you need to do, man. If you ever struggle with this kind of issue with someone, this is how you should respond to it, and what you need to do. And I was like, that's really weird. It was at a pizza shop too, and I'm like, what the heck? And then I'm like, man, do I need to lean into God? Like, that seemed like that was like a divine, like someone, like that guy just was like, spoke to me.
We say God speaks through people.
I think so.
Yeah.
Right? And then like the same day, this like Anon account don't follow, just like messages me randomly and is like, to whom much is given, much is required. Like, that's a weird thing to rent. So I messaged him back. I was like, why did you send me this? And it's like, I have no idea. Honestly, I thought it was weird, but I just randomly was like, you have to message Elijah Shea for this. And I was like, I don't read my DMs very often. And I was like, but why did you send it? He's like, I don't know. I just had this strong feeling you needed to read that. And that's a verse thing from Luke, I think maybe. And I actually did prayer. Like, I actually sat down and prayed. I know it's going to weird people out, but it's like, like I believe in tongues. I used like, you know, and I think that's a really powerful way to connect to God. I don't think it's something that people necessarily. I think it's very clear in the Bible, and it's in the Greek. It's very clear what it is, but people use it in public a lot to sound holy instead of realizing it's kind of like a humbling gift. It's actually kind of makes you sound stupid, and it's a way to connect your heart to the Spirit of God. And I prayed in my known tongue. I prayed, and I sat there, and I was like, and I felt the presence of God in my room. I felt God, and I have not felt the presence of God in that room. I've only been living there for a couple months. I haven't felt him in that room. I haven't felt him in my house. You know, maybe the closest I could say I feel to that is when I see my kids in the morning. You know, like I see the presence of joy, and I just like, I haven't had peace in my life in so long, and I felt something assure me that we're gonna work this out. But it came with a severity and a seriousness of like, you know, we are going to give an account for every word that we say, for every action that we take. And Kevin Posobiec told me one thing that I thought was really cool, and that's Jack Posobiec's brother, by the way. He said this, and I want us all to know this. He's like, "Are you a Christian, man?" I go, "Look, okay, it's a complicated answer. You know, I'm going to give a Bibi Netanyahu denying Charlie Kirk's murder answer. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to give you a long answer." But I said, "What do you mean?" I go, "Yes, I believe in Jesus Christ. I've never stopped believing in Christ. I've never stopped believing in the Word." I go, "But the things that I've seen, that I've heard, and the way that I just see religious people acting, I feel like I have to be real with who I am and how I am. You know, I don't want to be two-faced. I know too many people that are like act holy on Sunday, and then the rest of the week they're not, or they think they're better than people because they go to church, but like they'll have struggle with different sins than I do, and they think it's better. It's like the fornicator who judges like the adulterer, or the adulterer who judges the thief, or the thief who judges the murderer. It's like, yes, I mean, obviously murder is going to have a longer prison sentence and it's permanent, and theft, you can give things back. Yes, these are different sins and they have different consequences, but like, you know, I just don't want to see myself as different than other sinners. I just don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And I don't want to give off this public opinion that like I'm like this, like, you know, posting Bible verses every day and this public, you know, example of God when I'm not. And I think it's hypocritical, and I think it gives a bad look to God. I think a lot of people do it for themselves and end up making God look bad. That's what I think people just do. They makes them feel better, and they're religious to make themselves feel better. And it doesn't. It to me, it's off-putting from what I know, and I'm not into the bullshit. But he told me, he's like, "Dude, look, man, there's now more than ever needed time for people to seek God and to tell people to seek God, and you don't have to be like a holy, perfect man to just encourage people to do what you know they need to do." Like, you know what I'm saying?
None of us are perfect. I mean, the goal is to seek as close to Jesus as we can, but none of us are going to be 100% perfect. And I think there's something bad when we go around and we LARP and we pretend, you know, that we're on some higher platform, like that, you know, we're much more religious and we do this, but then through the rest of the week we're partying and things like that. You know, a lot of times that steers people away because it comes out disingenuous. Two, once those people go ahead and if they say that they do nothing wrong, the second they do something wrong, then people look to it and they say, okay, well, I don't want to be Christian because that person did this. You know, we're all on this journey together. God is with us. He's walking with us. You know, we don't lose God. I mean, God doesn't lose us. We lose God. We pull away. But the best thing to do is each and every day just try to be a better person and try to grow closer to Him and dive more into His Word. So a lot of these other people too, the reason they point fingers is there's a habit that, you know, a lot of people in this world do, is we point fingers to make ourselves feel better. Yeah, they're pointing at you, at your sin, and saying, okay, well, you did this, so you're a terrible person. But the reason they're saying that too, a lot of times, is because they have something else that they're doing, and they feel like if they can make you the villain, it makes them feel better. Well, at least I'm not him. At least I'm not doing this.
I was referencing you in that speech.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate it.
You're not a very judgmental person.
But you know, when we stand before God, He's not going to care if we sit around and point fingers. Well, you know, hey, listen, I did a great job on earth. At least I was better than Elijah. You know, I mean, he might agree with that one.
I was like, that's probably true. Actually, yeah, unfortunately.
But when it comes down to our actions, how we were on this earth, and what we did, it's not going to come down to what Bob, Chris, Tom, whoever else did compared to us. So there's not like a comparison chart.
Bro grew up in the 90s. That's not the average American names now. It's like what Julio, DeQuarius.
Yeah.
You know, if you're using random American names, that's true. I did want to read real fast. A $20 super chat from the Spanish Inquisitor said, "There's corruption in Rome but the Eastern churches are run by the Kremlin, and even Jay admits that Rome was the sign of unity. You don't leave Jesus because of Judas, and you don't leave the church because of bad managers. That's actually a really good statement, man. I appreciate that. And I agree with you, though, Henny. I think, so we're going to keep talking about this control of speech. The reason why I bring up the spiritual aspect, I know people don't like it, but I want people to realize when we talk about it on this show, this is not like I'm not telling you, like, I actually don't care if you're evangelical or you're Protestant or you're Catholic or you're Orthodox. Maybe I will care one day. I don't care right now. I do care if you're evangelical, actually. Stop being gay. Zionist evangelical, please stop. I'm going to play a clip that is so crazy about this. Mm-hmm. Is there any way you can bring up, can you bring up the Mike Huckabee clip? It was on my page I shared. You know what I'm talking about? Where he's standing in front of there and he's explaining about Christianity. I want to show you an example of what I think is where religion is used politically in a way that's bad. We'll show you one where it's good. But I really do believe that we need discernment in these days. We need discernment, and we need to follow nobody but Jesus. The phrase Christ is King has become popular because it's a way of saying, that's not it, is it? Is it the one where he's standing in front of outside?
Let me look.
Yeah. It'll be on my page somewhere. You can find it.
Okay.
I just retweeted it like within a couple, like the 2 days. So you have to scroll through. I didn't upload it myself. We're gonna have to have discernment in a way that like it has to be authentic and genuine, and we're going to have to trust God because it's going to seem so dark that it's not going to get better. But it's feeling right now a lot like it felt at the height of COVID when they were, putting mandates out, when they were forcing us to strap things on our face to get on flights, when they were, making us deny science and reality and deny what was in front of us and restrict our travel, especially my family being Australian. It was very, very tough for them. The restrictions were insane. And going through that, it felt like, God, why? This is like, that was global, right? It wasn't even like you could just go to another country and be fine. It was like universally, people were crazy and you couldn't escape the insanity. It was just a zoo. And the only thing you could do to escape the insanity was just go into nature. And even then, they shut down the national parks.
Yeah, yep.
So, and shut down the local parks.
Yeah, they're
right?
arresting people for even being on beaches in the middle of the ocean, surfing.
Yeah.
Like you're going to jail. Not even around anybody.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like it was an assault, and that feeling that we felt of desperation, that was like, hey, I don't know if it's gonna be okay. Like, I'm not sure we're gonna get out of this. That's how I feel right now with how bad things have gotten with Israeli and Jewish control in our country. I feel like we're in we're in Judeo-COVID. Like that's what we're in. We're in a point to where it's like a virus has taken over, where it's anti-Semitism is the virus, and we're all being told that we need to violate our constitution, we need to violate the laws, and we need to like do whatever we can, or else your Jewish friend and neighbor is gonna die. And it's like I'm sitting around going, and I'm looking, going, this is all gaslighting. This isn't true,
gaslighting us,
right? This is not true. But I don't know what to do because they have so much power. In COVID, they had so much power. It was the global systems and the scientific institutions and the celebrities. And it was like, I can't compete with this. Like, you know what I'm saying? All I can do is just say the truth. And I think we beat it together. I think we beat it, and we've made the people who lied to us feel so shameful that they try to pretend like it didn't happen. And I think that's what we have to remember now. If we don't beat this, it's going to change us forever. And this is another global movement. Fighting anti-Semitism is a universally global movement. Not in China, though. People think that I'm paid by foreign governments, by China, by India and stuff. Never been paid by a foreign government to do anything. I will say I would like to take money from Qatar. If you do have money, I actually will take the money. But right now with religion and stuff, the reason why I'm saying we got to draw near to God and not be followers is I was raised evangelical. And I think evangelicalism has been a disastrous force in politics and theologically in our country. And I am so saddened that that's the way I was raised. However, if I ever convert to Catholicism or Orthodoxy, I will not start lecturing people within my first year of converting about evangelicalism.
Yeah.
But I do know a lot about evangelicalism because I went to school, I have a degree in this. And then you have Mike Huckabee, who's the greatest evangelical example. Listen to this. This is insanity in Israel just the other day.
What an honor to be here for this incredible ceremony. Mr. Prime Minister, Secretary Rubio, all of the wonderful people who made this possible by their generosity, contributing to something that is historic and something that is a living memorial of what God has done. It was 4,000 years ago here in this city on Mount Moriah where God chose his people. He not only chose a people, but he chose a place. And then he chose for the people in this place a purpose. The people were the Jewish people. The place was Israel. And the purpose was to be a light to the world and to show that we don't have to look for God because he is looking for us. And that is what so separates the long history of why this city is so important. Those of us who are not Jewish, we thank you for giving all of us a foundation of morality and decency and civilization upon which our own faith is built, for without yours, we don't have one.
Oh.
As I often tell my Jewish friends, you can be Jewish, you don't need me. But I cannot be who I am in my faith without the debt of obligation that I owe to you.
Oh, God.
For having listened to God and been willing to be obedient to him when he called you to this place as his people for his eternal, everlasting purpose. And I salute you and join you tonight in the celebration of this wonderful, magnificent, incredible reminder that God never has been finished with Israel, and he never will be.
What?
This is the eternal home that he has chosen. God bless you.
Oh my
all.
gosh! Someone in the
These
chat
people are
just said
crazy.
makes me want a Fed post.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm surprised Ted Cruz ain't up there with pom-poms.
no, Ted Cruz is getting back shots by Netanyahu's son. The president's son also just celebrated some sort of a gay anniversary or whatever. And I wrote that.
But that's
Was
sickening
that?
to
Do we have a
watch.
picture of him? Was that him right there? Was that who was that?
No, that's just a randomly Richard Hanania.
Can you bring that up? What's going on with Richard Hanania's head?
I don't know, just a crazy picture.
You know, wow. You know, weirdly enough, I actually kind of am fascinated with the way Richard Hanania thinks.
No, me too. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I
Me too,
oddly
yeah.
speaking, I prefer to follow people. Like, for instance, here's a good example. Like, I'll listen to Candace because Candace is a unique thinker, but I hate people. Like, a better example is Tucker. I like Tucker, but people try to copy his cadence. Have you ever seen that? They'll be like, "Good morning," and "Good night." You know, today, I think I was like, dude, what are you doing? That's literally, you're just copying him. I don't like people that copy people, and also I'm not a follower, and I'm not talking about average people, I'm talking about people on camera, right? People that try to copy people on camera. However, I will say, I have absolutely been wanting to copy how Richard Hanania looks. So I've been thinking about shaving the front of my hair and getting little swirly rollies in the front and doing this. I am fascinated with him, and I actually understand why there are Hanania heads out there.
His
Are you a
smile looks
Hanania?
like the movie
I
Smile.
actually get why people are copying him, because he's like, he never takes the position. He's always got some weird ass writing, and he's a very good writer. Do you remember when Benny Johnson was like copying on his? Was it on OAN shows? Remember when he was copying Tucker's cadence? Remember that?
Benny Johnson, no.
You got to watch his old show on Newsmax. It's fantastic. And by the way, I love Benny. Again, childhood friend. Never speak poorly of friends. I just thought it was funny. I remember I was on his Newsmax show, and I was like, I felt like I was on Tucker. It was like, and we don't really know what's going on. It's kind of a question, right? And you're like, hey, that's weird. Anyway, I did ask Tucker one time, who wrote his monologues when he's at Fox. Like, who writes these? He wrote them. Apparently, he's just a really good writer. So that's what I was thinking about. I mean, if we do the show, we do monologues, something like that, I probably should just write them myself. But, you know, with all the time we have to get things done. That being said, why are we talking about Richard Hanania? How did this come up?
I know Mike was staring at the picture.
Yeah.
I thought he was doing something else back there.
Oh, man. He is back there with Joey. And you know what hashtag happens there.
Okay, so yes, let's also talk about this weird meeting. So we're back to the laws. We're back to talking about the laws. There was the weirdest interaction today. Kash Patel agreed to turn up to team up with Democrat Representative Jared Moskowitz. Can you get an early life check on Moskowitz, please? That picture, man. Can you look this up? Anyway, to team up with Jared Moskowitz to push censorship of Americans on social media who share conspiracy theories about Israel. They both came to the agreement that Section 230, which shields platforms from liability for user content, should be reformed. Remember when it was under Democrats? Remember under Obama or like Trump's first term, we were talking about changing Section 230 to stop censorship. Remember that?
Yeah.
Of conservatives. And now, again, you have a Democrat working with a Republican. Is there a reason we're just
looking at me?
Yeah, he's like, we have a Democrat working with a Republican.
There you go.
Predominantly.
There's the face.
Do we have a transition?
That's the calf after you sniff that calf stuff.
The red heifer?
The red heifer, yeah.
I've been texting
that
him,
shit
actually.
messed me up, man.
I've been texting Adam King, actually. I'm gonna do an event with him and E.L. Jacoby. We're gonna do a conversation really on the influence of Israel in our country, and they're denying it. So 2 Jews are denying the influence.
I'm really imagine that. Yeah.
I should get one of these rabbis.
Yeah, you should.
To be on my team. That's what I should. Yeah, that would be so funny. And I should wear a hat and put swirly rollies too for the debate. So we're all, or I should just wear like a hat, but oversized. So it's like whatever. But anyway, they're working together to try to censor them. Listen to this. Listen to this moral grandstanding. Watch.
Extremes on the right, and we collectively should tackle that. But to come here and just look at us and say we all support what's going on in the extremes is why we can't solve anything in this building. Director, let me say first, thank you for being here, and my condolences on the loss of your friend. And I'm happy to hear that you want to do more on the social media platforms. Okay, it's crazy what's going on the social media platforms. There are so many conspiracy theories on what's going on with Charlie Kirk. Israel assassinated him, right? There are conspiracy theories about your personal social life.
All falls on Israel that they don't like.
It is.
Yeah, on a side note, so he says,
literally points out the Israel with Charlie Kirk. And then talking about his girlfriend, which is Israeli.
Allegedly, people are saying, be careful, she's suing people.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, she's Jewish.
Is she?
I think so, right?
I think they say she's Mossad. I didn't know she was Jewish.
I wasn't saying any of that. Don't sue me.
Yeah,
I'm broke.
I would
don't
imagine
get paid
so.
anything here.
I mean,
they'll come after me, and I'm broke now too. But also but they're gonna come after something. This podcast table's worth a good amount of money.
Yeah,
they'll come take these TVs are worth a couple dollars. But yeah, I mean, dude, I agree with you. It's like we need to reform this because people are saying crazy things online, like this about Israel and that about Israel and this about
it's like
Jews.
Pam Bondi, when she was talking about free speech and how we need to limit hate speech, she just went ahead and pointed out Shapiro. She was like, and they firebombed his house, and he's Jewish. Like what?
So
what does that
firebomb Ben Shapiro's house?
No, not Ben Shapiro, the governor or the
Josh Shapiro.
Josh Shapiro, yeah.
They just killed Charlie Kirk. People just do things.
Yeah. I mean, and he's such a nice guy. He's the one that's autographing bombs so they can be sent
Josh
overseas.
Shapiro.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Am I like any of this? I'm so sick and tired of all this cockery in our country, right? I'm tired of this. Like I can't. What era is it that I'm agreeing with Max Blumenthal? Like. That's absolutely insane.
Yep.
Like Max Blumenthal has not liked people like me for a very long time. And when he agreed to come on the show, he said something when he was on the show exposing the Hamptons meeting and the sketchy stuff around the Tyler Robinson. He was like, yeah, I said I didn't expect to be on a show. He goes, you know what? Well, I guess part of the reason I'm on here is to like expose my work to a new audience. Meaning, even he's like, I guess people that think like you like my work now? And it's like, yeah, I do like your work exposing Zionist influence in the country. He does a lot of work on that.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I think because we're so used to having sports teams. It's like either you're 100% Democrat or you're 100% Republican. And whatever the team is going for, you have to agree and be on board.
Dude, you're 100% right. Where it's like, you have to... There's no, because in sports, there's no way. You do have to be for one team or the other. You can't be like, I'm for
it's the real bread
the
and
referee.
circus.
It's like,
yeah,
whatever. But yeah, it is politics. To me, people that focus on the drama too. That's why I've muted a bunch of words and names and stuff on X, because people that focus on the like, well, she said this and he said that and he said this. To me, that means you're in the bread and circus of politics. You don't watch sports, so you're not at mybookie.com. You're at mycapitalhill.com, and you're no, I'm saying,
and they just take your money. You don't get the 500.
correct, and it's automatically taken out of your check. Actually, no, but I'm saying, like, I feel like those people are creating a bread and circus where now I've decided I want to go down to really discussing the truth, and that's why we're going to try to avoid drama on the show. I've already avoided people's personal drama, but I want to avoid the drama in the community because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like to be completely honest, you know, there was that whole disagreement with a bunch of prominent people. I don't give a fuck. I actually don't even care who was right or wrong. It was so much
I
of my
think
timeline.
infighting's a waste of time.
Well,
I
but there's-
think
no,
we
I
have
know.
too big of enemies to fight. You know, we're
Yeah,
going against
infighting's
something that's
stupid.
had the control of our country since the banking acts and everything, and we're trying to point out everything. So,
Well, wait, let me clarify. Infighting is in, if you agree that Zionism's a problem and you want to root it out, and you realize that there's Israeli control of our country, and you realize that there's an immigration problem, like you agree on the major factors, like I'm just really not concerned with who's a little more right than the other. And, you know, like I support Candace because she's right on the right issues. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about with this Brigitte Macron stuff. I have no idea either way. I do believe that, Mendoza. I don't even know if that's true. Like, is the Brigitte Macron stuff? Is that even? Do you have any clue if that's true? I don't follow it. I have no idea.
I watched a little bit of it. I mean, it's almost like like to me, it's on like the same level of like flat Earth, where like once you talk to like a flat earther, like they
somebody in our office actually has a flat Earth photo in their house. Not going to say who, Mike.
But like it's like it's like the people who believe in it can tell you a million reasons why it's true. But it just seems too beyond the pale. It seems like too ridiculous on its face. So I don't know. It still seems a little bit ridiculous. And I was actually just thinking about this because I was going through my timeline, and then obviously now Brigitte is going to submit vag pics for confirmation. And I feel like even if she does that, and then the court rules on it, then it'll still be seen as a conspiracy. So,
yeah, I do too.
Like, who wins? Like, no one's ever gonna win this argument.
Especially not the person who sees the photo.
Yeah, exactly.
That person definitely loses.
Did you see Count
terrible.
Dankula? Look at this. Count Dankula was on a GB
I forgot
News.
about Count Dankula. Damn.
This is so good.
Count Dankula. Well, I want to start with Brigitte Macron, actually. The Macrons offer photographic evidence.
Sorry, on a side note, my dream for like this company to get to a point to where we're getting there, but I literally want to get a custom desk and like a shot like that. Like that's how I literally want our set to be like a GB News set. I like that's so cool.
You're gonna have to live in a better neighborhood.
Yeah, I was like, that's probably like what? Look how they have the British cross in the back in the window. That's like, you know how cool it is built in. That's what, probably like $1.2 million,
Yeah,
$1 million,
probably, yeah.
a little over $1 million, maybe $1.5 million, depending on like that desk is probably like $150,000. It's crazy, but it's true. Listen to this.
Start with Brigitte Macron, actually. The Macrons offer photographic evidence to prove Brigitte is a woman.
Oh, she's
not
pretty.
a woman, is what it said on there. But Accountant Dunkula, what do you make of this?
I don't know. I never thought there would ever be a time where there was a nude picture I didn't want to see. I feel bad for everybody in that courtroom. Because you know the thing's going to look like a leper that smoked a firework. But
You can't say that about Brigitte. That's not fair. She's not here to defend herself. If she's, you know, she's an older lady.
She's
72, isn't she? So come on.
Yeah, she's every right to defend herself in court. I just think it's horrible putting the poor people that work at the court through that. But
Yeah, but do you think Candace has just lost the plot a bit on this one?
No, like the whole accusations of a transgender wife is like, that's been around for a while. A lot of people say the same things about Michelle Obama or Big Mike, as we like to call her. But it's, again, if there's our shoulders are broader than mine, she could beat me in a fight. But basically, this is.
She's probably taller than you as well.
Probably is, by the way, yeah. But in regards to this, right, it's something that has gone around for like a little while because Brigitte Macron looks off. I don't know what it is. Like, they look strange. Like, have you ever seen that scene in Mars Attacks where the alien wears the wig? Like, I think that's what she looks like. But it's okay.
That's not fair. Brigitte Macron's not here to defend herself. I think that's a little bit unfair. Count.
Whoa, look at that.
It's crazy that Scottish people are speaking English. Like it's just like it's such a thick accent. It's crazy.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, we all know they were all forced to speak English. That wasn't by choice. Like the Irish.
We do all know that.
Yeah, we do all know that the English are been a bit brutal. This is why, by the way, the Irish, poor Irish, man. Oh, man. My wife's Irish.
I'm Irish.
Yeah, you're Irish, right? Joey's Irish.
Yeah. Joey's probably the most Irish person in here.
That's what he claims. Half
Yeah.
Cuban, but says he's the most.
I used to think I was Irish. I mean, maybe I actually am, but then I ended up like talking to like the heir of my family's history, and they're like, "We're English." It's like straight up like, "We're English with like a little bit of Welsh mixed in, like possibly." And I'm like, "What?" And it's like, "Yeah, like your great. Wait, so So my great-great-grandma was a duchess in England. And that's just crazy." And I was like, "Oh, so they were like aristocracy." I was like, "Yeah." It's like, okay, makes sense. Because everyone in my family comes from intelligence and like some sort of like Thai background. It's like, cool, why don't we have money now? It's like, oh, she ran away with the carriage driver. And I'm like, oh, women, dude. Like, you're a duchess and you ran away to Canada with... That's all. That's just one. We've been here since before this country was a nation on my other side. But it's like, she ran away to Canada. She gave up being a duchess. You mean like it? Like, I mean, I know I wouldn't have been born, but it's like, you mean like our bloodline? We could have remained aristocracy in England, and we decided to become gay black women in America. That's terrible. Like, no, but you hear that stuff. And it's like they make it in movies. Like, and she ran away. It's like, how dare you? Like, what a disgrace.
Yeah.
Now I know why she ran away, because like they're like, you went with a commoner. Dude,
When it happened now, women in America now, they got all unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
He's got to be 6'5" and make $200,000 a year and all this stuff. So carriage driver nowadays probably wouldn't make it.
Yeah. So by the way, going back a little bit to the laws that we were talking about, we mentioned that the Oracle owner is buying, or he's allowing his son, I think, to buy TikTok, and they're going to be censoring. We also know, I'm going to see if we have it here. Let me see if I don't know if I have it here. We also know that, Oracle is connected to a bunch of our other friends in the government who are doing a bunch of nasty things. Check this out. Watch.
It's my honor to welcome 3 of the world's leading technology CEOs. And in the case of Larry Ellison, it's well beyond technology, sort of CEO of everything.
Larry Ellison has officially surpassed Mark Zuckerberg to become the world's second richest person with a net worth of $251.2 billion.
Hey, don't dox.
Dude, actually, I was talking about this with Noticer, one of our interns, and we were saying, like, I was like, a lot of shows are like for Catholics, right? They're really trying to push you to be Catholic. A lot of shows are trying to push you to become Protestant, or like Joel Webb and whoever's about, becoming Christian. And I go, I think the show is just for like degenerates and recovering degenerates, but it's also particularly for people that even if they are degenerate, they know it's not the right way to live and they don't want to live that way forever. So we're for like people with a mindset of like, that the way to live, the right way to live. So you're like a Blunts for Jesus kind of person. Like Blunts for Jesus watches this show probably. He's like smoking blunts every day. Probably shouldn't be, but is like, yeah, but I do love God. It's like, welcome Blunts for Jesus. He's the biggest donor to our show. No, but bringing that in, these are the people that are buying up social media. They're doing it to control your speech. The controlling starts on social media, then it becomes laws. So they try it with guidelines and terms of service, then it becomes the law. I think we have a few months
we're going
left.
to see that with, the social media is going to be getting shut down. We're seeing that where they want to go ahead and put in all these hate speech laws. Palantir wants to go ahead and watch us everywhere and just collect databases on us, pretty much like a social credit score. And then eventually we're going to have CBDC, which is inevitable, unfortunately, but we're going to see that come into effect as well.
Yeah, so totally. Absolutely. And I think one of the things that we're talking about is like, connecting social media to real life. The CEO of Oracle actually has talked about citizens being on their best behavior, this new AI surveillance system. So these laws are going to come through surveillance, right? Basically, it's not just going to be like, hey, you can't say that. It's like, how are they going to police that then? How do you police telling people they can't say things. Well, you surveil them. You have AI.
Well, you've seen that right now too in China with social credit scores.
Yeah,
it's the same exact thing. They make it so that they watch everything you do on social media. That affects your social credit score. They collect data no matter where you go. What you're buying can affect your social credit score. I even remember over there they had one guy who he trained in MMA and wanted to go prove to the Chinese government, well, not to the Chinese government, but to the people that kung fu and karate is not as practical, which it's not. I've trained in it for years. There's little things you could pick up. So this guy went around and started beating all these kung fu masters, and what they did is they destroyed his social credit score because they said it made their country look bad.
By the way, Gavin got unbanned today. Did you see that?
Yeah. I actually texted him a second ago. I was waiting to hear back. I said, so I called him the N-word, and I said, hard R, are you back on X? I will be in New York in December. I won't say this part, but I was like, we should do a show together, do something creative because things are getting crazy, kind of thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, well, the person I mentioned, he said he was super mad at them, but I won't say who. And then he said, yes. And I said, yeah. I said, people think we're mad at each other. I think there was like a big fallout, but Gavin yelling at you drunk isn't an argument. It's called
No, you guys yelled at each other and then held each other with your shirts off in the green room for a little bit. So I figured it was just natural, like you guys were into it.
Yeah, dude, Gavin is got to be, like, Gavin is why I'm realizing I need God. That will be me if I don't find God sooner than he did. No, he did find God. I'm totally joking though. Like, Gavin is like I can see how you become Gavin McGinnis. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, 10, 15 more years of this shit. If I don't have God center my life, I'm also going to be peeing in cups in the middle of interviews and placing them on the desk, pulling shit,
classic moment,
pieces of paper out of my ass and showing them to people. I will put a dildo up my butt and kiss Milo Yiannopoulos.
Yeah. And that has nothing to do with Gavin.
Yeah, that's just that has to do with my diary of things that I want to knock off my list before I turn 33.
He's been banned for so long that the link in his bio is a CRTV link. That's crazy.
Let me actually promote him real quickly.
CRTV is a real throwback. That link doesn't even redirect to. Because CRTV became Blaze, right?
CRTV merged with the Blaze and became Blaze TV.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Or Blaze Media. Sorry, Blaze Media. Blaze TV and CRTV merged to become Blaze Media. And I'm not opposed to, by the way, of like totally knocking that off. And as we get like Rift U and Rift TV, that we create a bigger conglomerate called Rift Media. That's just like over all the companies. That's not actually a pretty good idea. Pretty good name too. Just like RM Studios, RMS. What's his actual? It's like Gavin C. McGinnis. What is it again?
No, it's Gavin _McInnes.
Yeah. Okay. _
McChinless.
Let's go.
That's crazy. He's like the last person to be unbanned because I mean Milo was banned for a long time. Loomer was banned for a long time. I think he's like the last high-profile person to be unbanned actually.
High profile person.
Tweet in real time.
This is normally locals content, by the way.
No, I'm just doing this for us. I want everyone that's watching this to go follow him.
Gavin McChinless.
You hit that for your own joke.
Yeah. That's not my joke. That's just his moniker. He hates it too, I think. But I have seen him and heard him scream about it before, but I think he's kind of just trolling a little bit.
I'm totally joking. It's like.
You misspelled watch, by the way. Get that before you tweet it out.
All right.
Okay, well.
Perfect. I guess not. Makes it more authentic, Mike.
What? Does it spell something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did I spell?
Watch. You put walk. Walk.
We're going to edit the post. Okay.
There you go.
Oh, shit. I misspelled friend. I'm just kidding. All right. All right. So if you want to watch more of the show, remember, you can follow me here on X, on anywhere right here. I am Elijah Schaefer. You can follow me at here. You can bring this up on the screen. You should follow me on X. I spurg out. If you can put it on the screen. Thank you. I spurg out here all the time, and sometimes like I go out with friends, get a little toasty, and type things that'll get me arrested and things like that. I fed post in the middle of the night sometimes, and then I have to delete them all in the morning. Those are the best ones if you ever want to get them. And people always message me like, what do you mean by this? I can't read it. It's deleted. And I'm like, I actually don't know what I meant by that.
Yeah.
So, but that's why I like live life dangerously. Occasionally you'll see me just like get onto a space, just absolutely obliterated, and yell at Jewish people and stuff, not for their Jewishness, but just for their retarded nature of who they are as people. Not related to them being Jewish, just the person himself, being a human being that's retarded. But I also think sometimes I just have fun on there. And it really is kind of a crazy place. It's my most effective platform. I do about 1.2 billion impressions a year. It's kind of crazy when you're in the billions. But that's because you guys somehow like enjoy the craziness. And it's always been insane. It's gotten me fired from several jobs now. Literally, several jobs I've been fired from because of this, and I love it. So, lost a lot of money, gained a lot of money. I also lost my deal with Black Rifle Coffee over a tweet that I put up too. So, I've lost millions of dollars from my ex, but most importantly, now I gain $900 a month through X ads. So that really makes it all better, and that's worth Indians ruining X every day, because for $900, that's worth it, guys. It's worth it. Anyways, you can also follow. Give me a second here to bring it up. You can plug yourself as well. While
all right, you can find me at snowflake_news. I'm on Instagram as well as X. I have a larger following on Instagram, so I'd love for you also to follow on X. I'm trying to grow it a little bit. So
we also got to get a picture of you like not smiling. Like we need to make it cool.
Usually I'm like that when I get my paycheck here, so we could just take a photo.
What you did for me, where like you gotta like get him like where you can put like a red line around the outside and like like get some depth and like do something that's like so it pops more, like like some back like red like some background or something like that. Because we got to
and then have them like this.
Well, with X you just need like on X. Yeah, like on X, that's mine at Mar-a-Lago. So that's just me there. And also, what I have a Kremlin hat on. Find out right now at ElijahSchaefer.locals.com where you can join. It's just a few dollars a month. It's free though right now. It doesn't cost you anything. And I always mention that sometimes we don't charge for the bonus section. Today we're not going to be just for members only. So it's a Friday night, I'm feeling casual. I'm feeling generous. I got new money from Russia, and so if you go to ElijahSchaefer.locals.com, our people will drop the link in the chat. We won't go until we drop the link in the chat. Make sure that you head over there. And dude, you're getting bonus content. Tomorrow you're getting an early episode with an exorcist. That's a crazy episode. I sat down with an exorcist that comes out tomorrow on Locals. So you get that. It'll come out sometime next week. But we're going to start giving extra content as well. So you might want to check that out. We also may have a live show. We may also have a live show on Locals tomorrow, possibly. That possibly. I don't know if are we doing a live show with Leonardo Locals and posting it later next week, or what do we? I don't know what we're doing.
Well, I mean, she's open to come, and then I was gonna say pre-record, have some content while you guys are in El Salvador.
I'd go live on Locals, and then we'll release it publicly later. You just put it for members only. Yeah, we could do that. And then we can just release it publicly on like Wednesday or something like that.
Well, we should give her time tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah. Let's do that. Is she in town right now?
She's probably within like an hour of here. Yeah.
Okay. Well, why doesn't she come have a cigar? I'm gonna text her.
I think she's doing a show tonight. That's why she couldn't come today.
What time is the show? I'll go down to the show.
Well, so she's doing a show tomorrow night in Miami. I don't know where she is tonight, but the whole reason why she couldn't come on the show today was because she was doing a show tonight.
Okay, well, I'll text her. Someone said last I saw Locals had a 404 error. I don't know what it does not have a 404 error. You can find us here at ElijahSchaefer.locals.com. Make sure that you join. Thank you to everyone watching. There's a couple super chats that I missed before we jump over there. Give me one moment. If you're watching on Rumble, hit the red button. There was one super chat up here. Okay, Cocteau, $5 for an air horn. Said, off-topic rant. Elon reinstated Gavin on X today after being banned since May of 2018. He hasn't posted, though. He's in the hospital. Nothing too serious. Apparently, he injured himself. Apparently, it was just too big for insertion. Wow.
Damn.
Well, he's fine. I'm texting him right now. Let me ask him, actually.
Also, before Giga Doomer actually gifted a subscription.
Let's go.
That's awesome, too.
Randall Flags at $2. Said, Elijah, you've mentioned your extended family is Mormon. Yeah. As we know, the Mormons are recruited heavily for the three-letter agencies. My question is, do you think the shooter might be a patsy for the feds? Yes, I think that's a possibility. And I think until we know who the shooter was, guys, we have a lot to cover. We'll cover this on Locals. Okay, we're gonna go over there. So head over there. We'll see you in about 1 or 2 minutes. We go on a quick break and then we head over there. So we'll see you. My name is Elijah Schaefer. Have a great rest of the week. May God bless the United States of America. I'll see you on Locals. I'm signing out.